Hi everybody, I'm Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and today I want to show you how to make the Bonnie Bay Summer Shell. This is made of 100% cotton, and I will show you the materials in just a second. This is an intermediate project, especially since it's a fitted garment, and so I encourage you as you go into this project to have a shirt nearby that fits you well in a way that you enjoy, and use this to compare with the stitches that you make. And this very important, needless to say, that you follow the gauge or follow a sample that you enjoy wearing as you crochet this along. This is crocheted almost entirely in the round, except for a small portion going from the armhole to the body. It's a very short part where you actually crochet rows, and the rest is totally in the round, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. Actually there is no sewing involved in this project. So for those of you who don't like sewing, hip hip hooray for that. Yes. Anyway, let's go ahead and I'll show you what you're going to need. For this project, I'm going to be using two types of yarn. Both are cotton. The first is Unique Cotton by Earth Yarns, and let me show you some stats on this yarn should you want to substitute. There we go. It is 100% mercerized cotton, DK weight 275 yards per hank, and or 100 grams. I'm also going to be using the Eurobaby Kid Cotton, and the number of scans on both of these that you're going to need are going to be listed across the bottom there. This is also 100% cotton, and also a DK weight. Each of these balls has 273 yards or 250 meters, each 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. You're also going to be using two different crochet hooks. The gauge hook that we'll be starting with will be the F or 5 or 3.75 millimeters. And the one that we'll be switching to later in the project as we work our way down the sweater is size G or 6 or 4.00 millimeters. And as always, I recommend that you have a yarn needle and a pair of sharp scissors, and you should also have a nice tape measure available so that you can measure your work as we go. You're also going to need some stitch markers, and make sure that you have some that are of contrasting colors. To start, we are going to be using this smaller crochet hook, and we're going to be using the color changing Unique Cotton, and we're going to start with a slip knot. And just to let you know, I'm going to be making the medium size. For the other starting chains for other sizes, just check the video description or the pattern. Okay, we're going to chain 120 for the medium size. So being very careful not to twist the chain, go ahead and join with a slip stitch to the first chain of the round, or of the first chain. Go ahead and chain 2, work a double crochet in that same space, and in each chain all the way around. And just for the record, the chain 2 that we started with does not count as a double crochet in the stitch count for this round. So go ahead and work 1 double crochet in each chain all the way around. At the end of the round, join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round, and we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and the next 2 rounds, this would be rounds 2 and 3, are worked the same way. We're going to alternate front post double crochet with a back post double crochet all the way around. I'm hoping this is not too dark so that you can't see it. Okay, so front post, get through both loops, double crochet, followed by a back post double crochet. So go ahead and work that all the way around for the next 2 rounds. After 3 rounds, we're just going to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch of the round, chain 2, again do not turn, and we're going to work the first 4 stitches by working a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. Now working between the last stitch and the next stitch, we're going to work 4 double crochets in this space right here. This is again not in a stitch, but it's in between. It's in the space in between the stitches. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's between the last stitch and the next stitch. Okay, so I worked 4 double crochets, and then the next 4 stitches we're going to work a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. And then we're going to work 4 more stitches, and again in between that last stitch and the next stitch. So we're going to be adding 4 new stitches in between these 4 stitch front post and back post double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 1 more. 4. This is again, this is the increased row. So go ahead and work that repeat all the way around. At the end of the 4th row, we just completed the 4 front post, or front post, back post, front post, back post, and don't forget to add 4 stitches, 4 double crochets in between the last stitch and the next stitch. And the next stitch is going to be the stitch where we join for the round. Okay, so we're going to join with a slip stitch in that first double crochet of the round. Let's just pause and take a look at what we have here. And you should have doubled your stitch count at this point. Okay, so now it's time for us to turn. Let me go ahead and get back to where I was. There we go. So now we're going to turn. This is going to be the first time that we turn our work in the project as we begin round number 5. After joining with the slip stitch and turning, we're going to chain 2, and this is the repeat that we're going to work all the way around. We're going to skip the first 2 stitches, 1, 2, that's of that 4 double crochet cluster, and working in between the second and the third stitch. We're working in between the space. We're not working in the top, just in between. We're going to work 4 double crochets. Just like that. And then we're going to work those 4 front posts. So remember, we're going to skip these 2 stitches. That's part of that 4 double crochet cluster, and the first one we're going to work is here with the front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. After that, we're going to repeat that around. Skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in between we're going to work 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then again, skip the next 2, 1, 2, and then we work the front post, and then the back post, front post, and the back post. And we're going to work this all the way around, and I think it's going to be a wonderful way to show off these lovely color changes in this yarn. At the end of this round, again, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round, and once again we're going to turn, chain 2, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. Again, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post, back post double crochet, over those post stitches. And then again, skip 2 stitches, and in between the second and the third stitch of that 4 double crochet cluster, we're going to work 4 double crochets. So go ahead and do this for 3 more rounds following the same instructions. After working those 3 rounds with the shell, continue working those rounds until you have 18 rounds with the shells, or a total of 21 rounds altogether. At the end of round 21, or the 18th round with these shells, go ahead and join with a slip stitch to that first stitch of the round, and go ahead and fasten off. I'm going to give it a chain, and I'm going to leave a generous strand here for hiding once I complete the project. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have. Now that we have the collar completed, I've added some stitch markers here and here, and let me explain what this is. I have marked out the front side, and I've also marked out the back side using these darker colored markers right here. And let me go ahead and explain. So for the medium size, I have placed the markers in between. You see where these 2 front post double crochets are. I picked the one in between that's recessed, and that is where we're going to join our yarn at one point. And then for the medium part, we are going to count 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the sections with the shells, and then place another stitch marker in the center on the recessed front post. Actually, it's a back post depending on the round. And yes, there's another post here, but this just represents the center visually. Okay, so after that, we should have 5 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that are going to be the sleeve. And you can see this is going to be a nice sleeve. There's going to be some more chains in between here, but we'll get to that in a bit. And now looking at the back side, I've marked with the stitch marker another section right here, and then we're going to count 9 of these shelled sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, check the pattern for the larger sizes on this particular part. This is crocheting the body or the bodice of this top. And then I placed another stitch marker here. So once we get going here, there will be a sleeve here, and this of course is upside down, and another sleeve on this side. The front side would actually have more fabric, and the back side just slightly less. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to start on the back side, and I'm going to join my yarn right here. Now there's one other thing that we need to do. We're going to go ahead and upsize to the next size hook, which would be the G or 6 or 4.00 millimeter crochet hook. And I'm going to get my solid colored yarn ready to roll here, quite literally. And let's go ahead and take the stitch marker away, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch. Well, first let's go ahead and do a slip knot. This is just a less bulky way to join our yarn. And do a chain, and go ahead and work a single crochet in that first stitch. And what we are going to do is we are going to work single crochets in each stitch until we get to the next stitch marker. So go ahead and work those single crochets in each stitch. Okay, I have worked that last single crochet in the stitch marker. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and we are going to chain a total of 16 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And now we are going to skip the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of shells. And I should have said before, this is with the front side facing, and it's whichever side you want to consider the front side facing. Okay, I'm going to work a single crochet in that stitch where the stitch marker is. Okay, just like this. And we now have an armhole of sorts. So let's go ahead and remove this stitch marker. And we are going to single crochet in each stitch until we reach the next stitch marker, which will be way over here. Here we go. Blend it in, so way over here. So go ahead and work those single crochets. After working all the way to the next stitch marker, go ahead and remove that. And we're going to chain 16 again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we're going to skip 5 of the shell sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, for the medium size. And we're going to join with a slip stitch to the very first stitch of the round, just like that. And we are not going to turn just yet. So that ends round number 1 of the body of this. And on the front side, you should have 89 single crochets, and you should have 73 on the back side, and the 16 chains on each side. Now we're about to begin the wattle stitch, and this is the way we're going to do that. We are going to chain 2 at the beginning of this round, and starting in the next stitch, we are going to work a single crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet in that next stitch. And we're going to do this all the way until we get to the chain. Skip 2 and then work another wattle stitch in that next space. So we're going to work this all the way to the chain, and then once we get to the chains, I will show you how to continue working in the round. So now as we approach the chain section, we're just going to continue skipping 2 stitches and working the wattle stitch, which is the single crochet, chain 1, double crochet in each stitch as we go. So, or actually skip 2, 1, 2 chains, and then we will work in that next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2 chains, and then again work a wattle stitch in that next chain, skip 2, and then work in the next chain just like so, and just continue working all the way around, back through the single crochets and around to the next chain, and I will show you the join at the end of this round. At the end of this round, we're going to skip the last 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and join with a slip stitch to that chain 2 space. Chain 2, and we're going to turn. And this is what we are going to do for a number of rows. I'll show you first the stitches. Okay, we're going to work wattle stitches in that chain 1 space created in each wattle stitch. Okay, so that would be single crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we go to the next chain 1 space and we work single crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're going to work this all the way around, and at the end of the round we're going to join with a slip stitch to the chain 2 space right here, and then we will turn at the end of each round. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take a look at how long we should work this particular stitch. So we are going to continue working in the round, working the wattle stitches until the measured distance from the very top of the collar down to the last round is approximately 13 inches, or according to the pattern for the other particular sizes. So for the medium, I'm going to make mine from here and measuring it from the top down until it is approximately 13 inches. And then at that point, I will show you what I have, and then I will be switching to a larger hook size at that point. So after crocheting until this is approximately 13 inches, this is what I have. Now this is something very important we are going to do. In order to make the shirt fuller as it comes down around the hips, we are going to change from the G hook, or whichever hook you were using, to one size up. I'm going to go up to a size H or 8 or 5.00 millimeters, and I'm going to just continue crocheting until, let me go ahead and turn this around the right side up, until the measured distance from the top of the collar all the way down is approximately 21 inches. So go ahead and just continue going around with the wattle stitch until you've reached that point, or until the measured distance that you desire to go down over the hip area. Okay, now that our top measures from the collar on down, now you also may want to try this on yourself if this is for you, and just to make sure that it is within an inch of the length that you want. We're going to be adding 1 more inch to this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to start that. I'm going to do this with the right side of the top facing outward, and I've already joined that last round from the wattle stitch round, and I am still using my size H crochet hook, which is the larger crochet hook. Go ahead and chain 2, so that's 1, 2, and what we are going to do is we are going to work double crochets, and this is what I recommend. We're going to skip the double crochet, and we're going to work 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet in that single crochet, and we're going to work that all the way around the top, or actually around the bottom of the top. At the end of the round, I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the very first double crochet of the round, and the next 2 rounds, which are the final rounds of this project, I'm going to chain 2, and we are going to work a front post double crochet followed by a back post double crochet. And again, this is the ribbing. Front post double crochet. Let's make sure we pull it through all the loops there, and then followed by a back post double crochet. So we're going to work that all the way around. At the end of the round, we are going to join with a slip stitch again at the very top of the first double crochet or front post double crochet of the round. And like I said before, go ahead and repeat this. So do this round 2 times, and then you can fasten off, and I'll show you that at the end. After working those 2 rounds, we're going to join with a slip stitch to that first stitch of the round, and go ahead and give it a chain and a tug. And I'm going to clip a generous strand. I like to leave at least, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches, just whatever you think you're going to need to thread into a yarn needle. So let's go ahead, and I'll show you just a real quick tutorial on how one way you can hide these loose strands. Okay, so we thread our loose end into that yarn needle, and make sure that you are hiding these along the back side of your work. So I'm going to work this down into the stitches,
You just, again, want to do this in a way where it does not show on the front side. Okay, we can do that. And I'm going to run it under a couple of these. And a lot of times I like to go back the other direction with this. I mean, you don't have to. You could continue to run this, you know, under the stitches here, but I'm not real comfortable doing that because I think that little loose strand might show. There we go. Having a hard time getting it through. And let's just go ahead and pull that back like that. And I'm going to give it a little tug just so that it's nice and you know, secure in this area. So after we do that, that string is well hidden. So all I need to do now is hide the additional strands, and then I'll show you the completed project.
Well, I hope you enjoyed making the Bonnie Bay summer shell with me today. If you did, please let me know, or if you have questions or any comments, please comment below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. God bless. Bye-bye.